Hi, friends. Welcome to Race to Rise podcast, a place where we discuss bite sized wisdom nuggets with easy to follow practices to live a better life. I am your host, Mital Patel, a parenting junkie, Ayurveda enthusiast, and an advocate of conscious living. Are you someone who wants to get more out of life, be it with your performance or happiness level? Or are you someone who believes there just isn't enough time to get everything done? Or even better, are you looking for a new and creative approach to time management? Because we all know as a parent, 24 hours are just not enough in a day for us, right? So if you are identifying yourself as from one of these categories, then this episode is, my friend, just for you. Today, I am going to discuss the power of full engagement book that I recently read in my personal coaching book club. And it was all about, how by examining these small causes and qualities of our, the energy sources, we can improve and we can, improve our performance, productivity, and as well as, just savor the life and enjoy every moment with our kids. And the author has given great tools, easy to follow tools to practice. And some of them I really want to share with you guys because that has been a game changer in my life. My coach, Jay Shetty, always said, like, it's not about time management, but it's about energy management. And I kind of sort of was following that. But after he introduced this book to us in our personal coaching, I was just like, oh my goodness. I have wasted like about 2 years not following thoroughly what my coach meant. But sometimes, like how Jay always says that sometimes you never know what might change, what might become that beacon of light for you to accept for accepting radically that this is it. This might bring me more joy, or this might help me build sustainable habits, or, things like that. So today I want to share something that the author was keep on mentioning about how to increase energy. And he talks about that we're not just talking about physical energy, but he mentions that it's about physical energy, emotional energy, mental energy, and spiritual energy. So it's so important for us to like kind of look at, holistically into all these energies and not just about, not just talk about physically, because you might be feeling physically fine and, you might not have any, conditions or any sort of physical pain, but emotionally you might be feeling drained. Like you're just not able to, be present, or you're just not able to enjoy the life fully. Or it could be that mentally you're so exhausted because, it's just day to day life going, having integrating the work life balance is just not a joke. It's not fun, especially when you're nurturing little human beings in your life. It is tough. It is hard because I am right there with you. Parenting is not easy, said no parent ever. It has been the toughest role that I have, I get to play. And I'm sure that's the same for you as well. And so today I really am going to share one of my favorite tools that author kept on mentioning was rituals. Like rituals are so powerful. They're such a powerful tools to effectively manage our energy capacity. And we think, okay, most of the time, people, when we say ritual, they think that this is, something to do with the religion or something, in that sort of context. But that's not true. Rituals is, they're positive and they're like consciously acquired behaviors that we perform without thinking. And so, of course, we save energy and time, right? Where you don't have to think. So, for example, habit. Habit is we are consciously kind of controlling and kind of like putting pressure on ourselves on, following it. But when you name it as a ritual, it actually changed the entire energy of, around the ritual. So, for example, in my household, for at least for the last couple of years, I wanted my kids to meditate. Right. Initially, yeah, when my older one was, young, he used to do it because, he was curious and he would do it. But then as he progressed and, got into fifth grade, sixth grade, it was just difficult for him and he hated. He hates meditating. He hates exercising. He hates journaling now. Things have changed. He is going through a different phase. And initially, a couple of years ago, I used to force him to do it. Then I learned that, if I force the growth, it doesn't do any good to me or to him. It's wasting my energy and, it makes me go into a controlling mode. So it doesn't serve me or him, right? So we really wanted to meditate as a family. It wasn't working out. I tried different tools, different strategies. It wouldn't work. I tried, making it non-negotiable. But then I kind of sort of was falling into a controlling mother and, being an authoritarian or authoritative parent. And I said, that's not what I want. Want to stay with my conscious parenting and making sure that I remind myself that this role of a parent is not about, parenting is not about my child's behavior. Rather, it's about me, how I regulate, how I self regulate, and how I transform this energy of not feeling enough as a parent or, of forcing the growth to my child. How can I transform this energy? So it has always been about that. So then I kind of sort of was like, okay, trying to be creative more. How can I do it? And then we came up with a ritual. So we call it as an evening ritual, and where we have four like staggered behaviors or habits or rituals, whatever you want to call it, but we named it as an evening ritual. So we have an evening ritual that we all perform together. Starts at 5:30, so we eat dinner together at 5:40. Between 5:30 and 6 o'clock, we'll eat dinner together, and then we'll do cleanup and whatnot. We'll talk about our days for a little bit, and as soon as it's 7 o'clock, we go to do our prayers. So we'll pray, we'll do our chanting, and then we'll do a 7 minutes of daily calm meditation. So we do daily J from the app Calm, and it's only 7 minutes of meditation, which includes, it's a great format how Jay has been doing it. So there is a little centering exercise, just 3 breaths, and then he tells a beautiful story every time. And then again, it's a meditation like legit like for maybe 2 minutes. So it's a 7 minute of meditation he calls it, and it's beautiful. It's kind of like guided visualization meditation, and it has a story aspect. So we take a lesson out of it. So that is like 15 minutes. And right after finishing that, we all go for a walk. And so it has been a game changer in our life. So I think altogether, this whole ritual that starts at 7 takes us 20 minutes where we do prayers, chanting, and meditation. And it has been amazing. And I don't remember missing a single day. Yeah, on Saturdays, we don't do the same rituals because we go to a temple for all day. So we don't get to perform the same rituals. So we don't meditate at home, but we meditate at the temple, and that's more than 7 minutes. So it has been a game changer in our life, and I don't have to nag, I don't have to yell. It's just a couple of reminders. All right, it's 7 o'clock, it's aarti time, or it's prayer time, whatever that is. With my little one, we had little trouble where he was going through a phase. So he would bring his toys and he would start, he would come in the temp. We have a room, we call it altar room. And so he'll just bring toys and stuff. But we've learned so there used to be some nagging, but now we've set some rules that we don't take toys in this room. And whenever we come to our prayer room, we take our spots and we follow the ritual. And so it has been a game changer. This is not just like, this is, of course, I experienced it, but in fact, most of our, research says that most of our actions are, when they're driven by rituals, they help us perform better and they help us perform more efficiently. And actually, even according to the research, right, we all know that only about 5% of our behaviors is consciously performed, meaning that 95% of our actions are just, they occur automatically out of habit. And so why can't we, why don't we make this 5% as, conscious efforts where we tie it in the name of ritual so it doesn't seem like it's nagging. And so it's like, it's an art of thinking it like a soldier's preparing for combat, where, the recruits build rituals around every aspect of their lives, from what they eat to how to think and act under pressure. And so this code of conduct allows them to automatically make the right decision, even in the life threatening situations. And so rituals don't only conserve energy, they actually, when we design them, when we design a positive ritual, it helps us to live in accordance with our values and, helps us perform at our very best. So, how can we form these rituals, especially around kids? First of all, small steps, big priorities, like how my coach would say. We have to make sure that we are building them in small increments and focusing on one lifestyle change at a time. And then, of course, build upon that improvement with new rituals. So, initially, for us, for that 7 p.m. evening ritual that I've talked about earlier, initially it was just the 7 p.m. prayers. And then, after a while, we added chanting. So we would do prayers and then we would do chanting. And after that, for a while, when this whole daily J was introduced, I started doing my on my own. Then my husband started joining. And then we added that because we felt like this was really good, we started doing it in our bedroom first before going to bed. And then we moved it and we anchored this meditating, this meditation to our evening, so that, because I always feel when you anchor, like, a habit and form it into a ritual, you have less chances of missing, or you have less chances of, not wanting to do it. Author actually beautifully shared a technique called priming. And he says that every time you're tempted by something bad, just do something good instead. So, like, swap it, right? So, for example, if you're trying to give up sugar, then every time you feel the temptation to eat, a piece of cake or chocolate or candy or cookies, tell yourself that whenever I'm tempted by, chocolate, I'll have some fruit instead. And so over time, you'll be able to form a habit of eating fruit and not dessert, which is far more efficient than consciously forcing yourself to stay out of the kitchen every time you face a temptation, right? And it works great because now this way you are building a healthy habit by forming a ritual of, swapping the bad temptation with good one instead. And so when you introduce these rituals for your kids, small rituals, and start building upon them, eventually you'll incorporate all your values into your daily life with kids. That's it for this week's episode of Race to Rise. Be sure to sign up to our email list at risewithmittal.com and join us again next time for more wisdom about life, kids, and everything in between. I am Mittal Patel, wishing you happy raising and rising.